Gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got attack. We got how great was Larry Bird's prime. Without further ado, all right. Shout out to the veterans. All right, thank you for your service. Let's jump right in.
Larry Bird is fast becoming one of the most divisive characters in basketball history, with some recognizing Bird as the greatest player of all time, while some have him dropping out of the top 10 altogether. This coming in recent years amid the rise of this current crop of NBA talent, coupled with mounting narratives of the alleged physical inferiority of other eras.
Oh, well, he was being guarded by plumbers and firemen.
And Larry Bird presents.
Hey, yo, wait a second. Wait a second. Yo, this guy right here. This guy right here, man.
Narratives
Man.
of the
Oh,
alleged
gosh. What did he
physical
just say?
inferiority of other eras.
Oh, well, he was being guarded by plumbers and firemen.
And Larry
He was being guarded by plumbers and firemen. So, in the 90s, who was guarding MJ, huh? Was it doctors and engineers? Who was guarding LeBron James and his era? Oh yeah, marshmallows, pillows. What else? What else? Hey guys, help me down. Help me down in the comment section. Who was guarding LeBron James? Bro, that is absolutely just disgusting, man.
Bird presents a major dilemma, which is on the rise as of late across the board in all of the major sports. How do you weigh different eras? How can you cross-compare different players who might have existed decades apart from one another, played against varying levels of competition, and in starkly contrasting league-wide environments? How can you factor in elongated time of play and peak performance extension amid technical advancements in nutrition, supplementation, training philosophies, and implementation? Fundamentally, the answer is complex.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
But one element of comparison is easy. How dominant were you in your own time? How much did you excel against the competition within your own era? And how feared were you? And Larry Bird has one of the shorter careers of any all-time great in NBA history, as he was drafted with the number 6 overall pick in the 1978 draft by the Boston Celtics at the age of 22. But Bird opted to return to Indiana State for his senior year in college and forego entry into the NBA until the following 1979 season at the age of 23. And on November 15th, 1988, just 6 games into the season, Bird would be diagnosed with debilitating bone spurs on both Achilles that would require immediate season-ending surgery.
Damn.
And at the age of 32, Bird would miss that entire season and postseason, leaving many to speculate that Bird's career was over. And years later, Larry himself admitted he should have retired following the Achilles surgeries.
Ooh.
However, the next season, at the age of 33, Bird returned and played 75 of a possible 82 games, while
That's not
averaging
bad.
24 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists per game in 30.
Bro, look at these numbers, man. An injured Bird is still putting up great numbers. Whoa, that is absolutely crazy. So you telling me the two debilitating what is it, bone spurs and his Achilles on both of them, 2 surgeries. And then the back, the lingering, the chronic back that he was dealing with. Of course, he could have retired sooner, but he played through it. But man, what if he was fully healthy and he played past? Man, that's a what if right there. That's a what if. But he's still putting up great numbers injured. So, hey, that mental toughness of Bird, 100, 100%. That's hey, not too many players could just play like that. Oh my God.
9 minutes a night. Load management be damned.
Oh, here we go.
But
Here
the
we go.
decline would set in sharply, and Bird's reluctance to miss games or sit out nights throughout his career, coupled with his intensely physical style of play, took its toll. In all, during his final 4 seasons, Bird missed 142 of a possible 328 games.
Damn.
And that was after missing only 27 total games over his first 9 years in the NBA.
Yo, you gotta be kidding me. Wait a second. You gotta be kidding me. The last couple of the last couple of seasons, man. What a tragedy. The injuries. And you telling me the first 9 years, 27 games. Healthy Bird. And on the back end, he missed because of the surgeries, the injuries. But I mean, the wear and tear of physical basketball. Damn.
Missing only 27 total games over his first 9 years in the NBA due to the sharp fall off amid a body that quickly failed him. Larry Bird played a total of only 897 regular season games and 164 playoff games throughout his entire NBA career. Compare that to the self-proclaimed GOAT, who many believe
Hey, oh God. Hey guys, if you haven't done so, go check out my MJ versus LBJ GOAT debate. I'll leave it at the end of the video on screen, but this was when he was with Miami Heat, #1. All right. They was acting the fool, they was having fun, but I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna continue to say this. All right. This guy right here on screen, how many all-stars and stars, superstars he's played with throughout his entire career compared to any other legend in basketball? All right. Tell me down in the comment section, how many all-stars, superstars he teamed up with or played with throughout his career versus any other legend? Man, Larry Bird. My question is, when those injuries and surgeries happen, guys, around that time, what was the treatment like? Was he able to get constant treatment through the back injury? I know he had to do like hours and hours of stretching. I think something about like a traction table. In order, damn, bro, I'm starting to think right now, like if we had a healthy Bird after the 9 years, he missed 27 games, playing 9 years of basketball, and in the back end, imagine going past that. This, hey man, that's unreal.
NBA career. Compare that to the self-proclaimed GOAT, who many believe has surpassed Larry Legend in recent years as the greatest small forward in NBA history.
He hasn't. In my book, he has not passed Larry Bird. Larry Bird is still my top favorite small forward. All right. I know people have different criterias and different eras. Was he the best player in his era? That's actually a big debate. Because I'm trying to think of other players. We had the Kobe Bryants. We had all the other players. Kobe Bryant is actually my favorite player of, more so future, like modern basketball. But after he retired, there's the Tim Duncans, et cetera, et cetera. But he's in my book, he's not the best small forward. He's not even the GOAT.
One right there that made me the greatest player of all time.
LeBron James. James has played to date in 1,703 combined regular season and playoff games, nearly 700 more total games than Larry Bird played, and LeBron is moving on to season.
That doesn't change anything, honestly. That doesn't change, and I'm gonna explain it after. I'm gonna let him cook.
More total games than Larry Bird played, and LeBron is moving on to season number 21 and counting. It is conceivable that James will end up playing in twice the amount of games as Larry Bird. It's no wonder James and other all-time great players dwarf Bird's statistical accumulation with the relatively limited career Bird had in terms of time played. But in understanding the context of his career from a peak standpoint, and when factoring in the NBA built around him at the time, Bird produced arguably one of, if not the best primes ever. Coming into the league the same season as Earvin Magic Johnson in 1979, it would be Bird that won Rookie of the Year that season, while also being named to first team All-NBA and making the NBA All-Star team in just his rookie season. And from that 1979-1980 season, Bird would be named first team All-NBA for the first 9 seasons of his career, while the Celtics would make 8 conference finals over those 9 seasons. And this Eastern Conference was a far cry from that of the Chosen Ones era that he feasted on, which was one of the historically weakest conferences ever. But the Eastern Conference of the 1980s was the power conference. This decade saw one of the greatest teams in NBA history in that conference, the 1983 Moses Malone and Julius Erving-led Philadelphia 76ers. It had the Bad Boys Pistons, the Dominique Wilkins Atlanta Hawks, a perennial 50-win Milwaukee Bucks team, and Michael Jordan. There were no easy series in the Eastern Conference playoffs during the decade of the 1980s. Yet Larry Bird found his way to 5 NBA Finals over the first 9 years of his career. And his reward for battling through the gauntlet of those stacked Eastern Conference playoff fields was meeting one of the greatest teams ever assembled in the NBA Finals from the Western Conference. The Celtics and Larry Bird had the misfortune of running up against the LA Lakers in 3 NBA Finals, led by arguably 2 top 5 players ever, Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a team that also had top 50 all-time player and perennial all-star James Worthy as a third option. Yeah, Bird lost to that team twice in the NBA Finals for his only 2 finals losses. But
imagine if that would have happened. Bird would have had like 6 championships, you know? But that's peak, what is it? It's peak competitiveness. There's the word. It's peak competitiveness at the time because of that rivalry between Bird and Magic, Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers, man. Peak competition, peak basketball. I want to piggyback to what he was talking about with LeBron James. Even if he played 1,703 games and in counting, because he doesn't seem to be retiring anytime soon, those numbers don't mean anything. You could play that amount of games, but it all comes down in my eyes, in my book. All right. One word, which is impact. What was your impact within those games, whether regular season or playoffs? What did it translate to between both Larry Bird and LeBron James? I'm still going to take Larry Bird. First 9 years, missing 27 games, and the latter half, I'll still take Larry Bird over LBJ if I was to start an organization. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Especially on LBJ side, you know. how are you supposed to be the best player of your era? Now, everything doesn't have to come down to clutch. I'm always going to say LeBron is always a pass first player. You get me? Same thing, but Bird, pass first. But when it comes time to clutch time, when it really matters the most, he's going to take those shots. But let's piggyback. Let's switch it over. LBJ. Now, when it matters the most, all right, guys, you guys know. Get in the comment section. Let me know. When it matters the most, has LBJ delivered? All right.
Twice in the NBA Finals for his only 2 finals losses. But he also beat that team in the NBA Finals for 1 of his 3 finals wins. Oh, and also beat the Hakeem Olajuwon Rockets in another NBA Finals. The accumulated number of elite, high-end opponents Bird faced throughout his 9-year run puts him in the running of having acquired some of the most difficult rings in league history. But this should come as no surprise, since Larry Bird was one of the most high-leverage winners the sport of basketball has ever seen, as the Celtics were just 32-50 and 29-53 the 2 seasons prior to Bird's arrival. But in just his first season in the NBA as a rookie, Bird elevated the Celtics from 29 wins to 61 and took Boston all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And over the 9-year run until his dual Achilles surgery practically ended his career, the Celtics won an average of 61 games a year and never won fewer than 57. During that 9-year prime, beginning in his rookie season at the age of 23 and running until his double Achilles surgery at 32, Bird averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals per game, while shooting 50% from the field, 38% from the three-point line, and 88% from the free throw stripe. During that 9-season run, Bird finished top 5 in MVP all 9 seasons, with an absurd 4 second-place finishes during that time and 3 first-place finishes. His 4 runner-ups were to Moses Malone twice, Julius Erving, and Michael Jordan. His 3 league MVPs were won consecutively over the span of 1984 to 1986, and done in a league that had Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Julius Erving, Dominique Wilkins, Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Michael Jordan. In the 1980s era, an era defined by arguably the greatest collection of high-end historical NBA talent, the case that Larry Bird was the greatest player of them all during that decade is an easy one to make. So while players that have played drastically longer than him might have stacked more stats than him, what if the question was how dominant were you in your own time? How much did you excel against the competition within your own era? And how feared were you as a player? Under those parameters of evaluation, it is clear that Larry Bird still stands on an island with very few guys who have ever played in any era.
Facts.
Larry Bird is fast becoming one of the most
I like that ending. Number 1, LBJ.
An easy one to make. So while players that have played drastically longer than him might have stacked more stats.
Wasn't this that game 7 against the Boston Celtics, right? Where he lost 1, 2. Wasn't that when the final season was when he teamed up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, the Miami Heat?
Than him. What if the question was how dominant were you in your own time? How much did you excel against the competition within your own era? And how feared were you as a player? Under those parameters of evaluation, it is clear that Larry Bird still stands on an island with very few guys who have ever played in any era.
Absolutely true. I love that. That's a good video. That's an absolutely good video. Rookie Bird came in after and was able to change the league. Did I say change the league? I mean, change the organization. Change the organization, made an impact. Nah, don't get me wrong. LeBron James did it too, but it wasn't the same. One, he's not feared. LBJ, he's not feared upon NBA players. I don't think so. Not in the same level as Larry Bird, of course, but like just in general, I don't think too many players feared LBJ. Hey, bruh, this is not a debate. Now you could compare both peaks, of course. LeBron James' prime was longer than Larry Bird's, of course, but honestly, it comes back to impact. It comes down to dominance, and like you said, feared. Man, these players feared Larry Bird. Man, when it mattered the most, he delivered. Now, those 2 times, no, was it the 2 times that I'm trying to think about the times that they went up against Los Angeles in the NBA Finals? There was one year, and I'm thinking it was probably 1985, or was it 1987, when they weren't 100% healthy, the Boston Celtics, and they lost to the Lakers in the NBA Finals. Bro, that Lakers team was stacked. What? Those battles were unreal. That's crazy. And Scap Attack mentioned that Larry Bird's prime could arguably be the best. What you guys think about that? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.